Siddhartha Gautama died under the sal trees of Kusinagara, and his disciples faced a silent cosmos. For centuries, early Buddhist schools accepted this physical departure as the final entry into extinction, a state where the teacher is no longer reachable. Early schools focused on the historical Shakyamuni, believing he attained Buddhahood at age 30 in Gaya and entered final nirvana at 80. They saw his death as the end of his physical presence. The teachings of the Pali Canon emphasized the impermanence of the physical body, instructing monks to rely on the Dharma rather than the form of the teacher. This created a dualism where the Buddha exists in the past and the practitioner remains stranded in a defiled world. This physical death was a theatrical illusion. In the 16th chapter of the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha shatters the limits of history. He reveals that his enlightenment did not begin under the Bodhi tree in India, but occurred in the infinite past. He states, "But good men, it has been immeasurable, boundless hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, millions of nayutas of kalpas, since I in fact attained Buddhahood." This is the central revelation of the Juryo-hon. It changes the nature of Buddhist practice from a search for an absent teacher into an immediate connection with an eternal presence. For the advanced practitioner, this revelation forces a complete re-evaluation of suffering and the environment. If the Buddha did not pass away, then this world of endurance, the Saha world, is the constantly abiding Pure Land, where the assembly of Vulture Peak is occurring right now. The illusion of a historical teacher who lived and died was simply an expedient device, a medicine left behind by a physician to cure his complacent children. To understand why Shakyamuni staged this cosmic drama, we must look at the events that unfolded just before the reveal, when Vulture Peak shook and the earth split open. Before the grand revelation of Chapter 16, the assembly at Vulture Peak witnessed a cosmic event that shattered their understanding of reality. In Chapter 15 of the Lotus Sutra, the earth of the Saha world split open. From the depths, countless golden bodhisattvas emerged, each shining with major marks of enlightenment. These were the bodhisattvas of the earth, led by bodhisattva superior practices. This sudden emergence threw the assembly into deep confusion. Bodhisattvas Maitreya, who represented the doubts of all present, asked the Buddha where these magnificent beings came from. He wondered how they could have attained such high spiritual power. He noted that the historical Shakyamuni had only attained enlightenment 40 years prior in India. How could he have taught these countless disciples who seemed to have practiced for eons? Maitreya compared this to a young man of 20 who points to a 100-year-old grandfather and claiming the old man was his son. Maitreya's confusion represents the limit of a historical view, or the Shakyamuni. In the first 14 chapters of the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha teaches using provisional methods, matching his words to the limited understanding of his disciples. The disciples believed that Shakyamuni was a mortal man who achieved enlightenment at Kaja through hard work. When they saw the bodhisattvas of the earth, they faced a reality that could not be explained by this historical narrative. These new bodhisattvas were powerfully independent. They appeared from the depths of the earth. They did not descend from the heavens. The earth represents the Saha world itself, the realm of daily life and struggle. The Buddha demonstrated that the highest state of life arises from the ground beneath our feet, bypassing the need for a distant heaven. Shakyamuni's response was immediate and and shocking. He declared that he had indeed taught and guided all these bodhisattvas since the beginningless past. This statement destroyed the linear timeline of early Buddhism. The assembly realized that their teacher's identity went beyond a human prince who lived and died in India. His life was linked to a deeper, beginningless history. The emergence of the bodhisattvas of the earth shifted the focus from the historical teacher to a cosmic mystery. The assembly desired to understand this contradiction. They begged the Buddha to explain this mystery, entreating him 3 times to reveal the truth. This setup created the necessary tension for the ultimate payoff in Chapter 16. In Chapter 16 of the Lotus Sutra, the Juryo-hon, Shakyamuni addresses the bewilderment of the assembly. He entreats them 3 times. You must believe and understand the truthful words of the Thus Come One. The conflict between the historical illusion and the cosmic reality is finally resolved. Shakyamuni reveals that his historical life in India was a temporary manifestation. He attained Buddhahood countless kalpas ago, a span of time described through the metaphor of gohyaku-jintengo. If a person grinds 500,000 million billion nayutas of worlds into dust and drops 1 particle of dust every time they pass 500,000 million billion nayutas of worlds, the total number of worlds they pass represents his lifespan. It is an inconceivably vast period, yet it remains finite in linear terms. Nichiren's later hermeneutic deepens this. He introduces the concept of kuon ganjo, a dimension outside of linear time. This term signifies time without beginning or end. To explain why he appeared to grow old and die, the Buddha uses the parable of the skilled physician. In this story, a physician returns home to find his children have drank poison. Some children have lost their minds, while others remain sensible. The physician prepares an excellent medicine, which the sensible children take and recover. The insane children refuse the medicine because they believe it is bad. To save them, the physician leaves his medicine behind, travels to a distant land, and sends a message back that he has died. Gripped by grief, the insane children realize their father is gone. They take the medicine and are cured. The physician then returns. The Buddha is like this physician. His physical death is an expedient device, designed to prevent followers from becoming self-indulgent or lazy. If they believed the Buddha was always present, they would not strive to practice. By showing his absence, he arouses a seeking mind. The Buddha is an eternal presence, constantly active in this Saha world to guide all living beings. The path to enlightenment is found here, in the midst of our immediate struggles. If the Buddha is eternal and constantly present in this Saha world, we must ask where this eternal realm exists in relation to the ordinary, suffering individual. The answer lies in the philosophical system of Master Zhiyi, also known as the great teacher Khyentei. In his foundational text, the Mohe Zhiguan, Zhiyi formulated the principle of ichinen-sanzen, or 3,000 realms in a single thought moment. Zhiyi argued that a single moment of an ordinary person's mind contains the entire spectrum of existence. This system calculates experience through the multiplication of the 10 worlds, their mutual possession, the 10 factors of life, and the 3 realms of existence. 10 worlds times 10 worlds times 10 factors times 3 realms equals 3,000 realms. This mathematical formula of experience demonstrates that the smallest thought moment and the entire cosmos are mutually inclusive. Because the Buddha's lifespan is beginningless and the Saha world is his abiding land, Chapter 16 eliminates the boundary between the Buddha and ordinary beings. The state of Buddhahood is an immanent reality within the single mind moment of every living being, rather than a distant post-mortem reward. Furthermore, this principle shifts our understanding of the environment. If the eternal Buddha is present, then our physical surroundings are coextensive with the cosmic Buddha body. The land of tranquil light is not a separate heaven. It is this world of endurance realized through a shift in our inner life condition. Because the mind contains all 3,000 realms, a change in our thought moment alters our physical body, our relationships, and our broader environment. Yet, for centuries, this path remained a theoretical model, a monastic practice of quiet contemplation that was difficult for ordinary people to realize in their daily lives. To actualize this cosmic truth, a practical bridge was required. Everything you need to go deeper is at NMRKOB.com or follow the link in the description or pinned comment. For centuries, the principle of Ichinen-zen remained a theoretical concept. Known as ji-no-ichinen-sanzen, this model was confined to quiet, monastic contemplation. At the same time, medieval Japanese schools like Amida Pure Land taught that the Saha world was a defiled realm. They instructed followers to repeat the name of Amida Buddha to escape this world and attain salvation in a distant paradise after death. This teaching reduced human agency, and practitioners felt helpless in a hostile environment. Nichiren Daishonin challenged this passive view. In his major treatise, the Kanjin no Honzon Sho, written in 1273 during his exile on Sado Island, he established a practical path. He formulated ji-no-ichinen-sanzen, or actualized 3,000 realms. Nichiren explained that all the causal practices of Shakyamuni Buddha and their resulting merits are contained within the 5 characters of Mohe Zhiguan. He wrote, "When we embrace these 5 characters, he will naturally transfer to us the merit of his causes and effects." To make this truth accessible, Nichiren inscribed the calligraphic scroll known as the Gohonzon. This scroll is a visual mandala of the cosmos. It depicts the eternal Vulture Peak assembly. Down the center runs the stylized Daimoku, flanked by Shakyamuni and many treasures Buddhas, the leaders of the bodhisattvas of the earth, and representations of all 10 worlds. This design shows that every life state, from hell to Buddhahood, has the potential for enlightenment when illuminated by the mystic law. By chanting Namu Myoho Renge Kyo before this scroll, the practitioner collapses the boundary between the sacred and the mundane. There is no need for silent monastic isolation, nor a post-mortem escape. In the midst of daily struggles, noise, or physical illness, the act of chanting Daimoku is the direct means to enter the mandala. The devotee participates in the eternal assembly of Chapter 16, here and now. This practice transforms the Saha world into the land of eternal tranquil light. It fulfills the promise Shakyamuni revealed in Chapter 16. Watch the next video left.